Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting. We will learn, grow in craft together. Today's session is a follow-up of the previous tips and tricks where I spoke a lot about packaging material. Now, I'm not going to use the cellophane things today, but I will be using some of those pieces that I spoke about the other session and already turned some of them into tags that we will then just decorate a little bit. Now, without further ado, let's get started and dive right into this. We have seemingly non-related things here. This one was part of packaging material. We said this can easily be kept as it is, or you can alter both sides of this. This little tag was just a flap of something that I cut off and turned into a tag as well. This was to the side of another piece of packaging material. Basically, it was top like this. Oh, it was this one. There we go. It was this one, sort of, I think. I can't remember even. Because it's the same width. And then just cut it off, but there's now a part that doesn't fit, so maybe it was just higher up like that. But there's no, oh, there are staples in there, so it was this one. Can't even remember. Now, this could have easily just be used like this. You can cut it up into a tag, or you can decorate the whole thing that then can be added easily to a journal as a pocket or whatever you want to use it. So let's just put that one to one side. This then, however, can be a beautiful flap that you can add. You can obviously trim that little skew part off there a little bit nicer. So let's do that. I'll just grab my scissors, just trim that off, or you could have used a paper trimmer for that if you have one by now, or you can use your trusty metal ruler and a craft knife. There we go. We've got that. So this can be changed into a flap. It can be to the left side of the page. It can be to the right side of the page. Or it can be at the bottom of a page. Or, if you so wish, then be to the top of that page. You can glue it down and just have it either lift up as a flap, some interactiveness added to your journal, or you can glue it down on three sides and just make it a pocket. So let's just leave that to one side for now. Let's focus on this. I did show you that this can easily be changed. Yes, it says what the product name was, and I did show you in the previous session that you can just add stuff to this, and we will make two different collages. Now, if I didn't like the roses so much, this could have been added there. This could have been added there. This way, make it a pocket. Good work. Or just add it that side so you don't have to add too much to it and then have a little pocket. Maybe we can do that. That will work. Let's do that one. We will work with that one in a second. Now, I'm going to just take this one. I need to just trim that a tiny bit. There's this little ridge on it. So I'm just going to take my trusty ruler and craft knife. Now just line it up nicely so that you don't cut into your tag. And we can just trim that part off. As simple as that. Then I would ink this up, obviously. Vintage photo. You know me by now. Some vintage photo. I'll grab some of that washi tape that was from here. Let's just close this for a second. Otherwise, there might just be a little accident. So we're going to ink this edge right around the back of the tag. You can make it your front if you want to. It's your tag. You decide. I cannot be too prescriptive and tell you exactly what you need to be doing. It's yours. You decide. And then I'm going to do the same here. Maybe I should have first just changed that. So let's do that. This one will go to this side. Maybe that side. Just get a little circle punch. That will work beautifully. Just grabbing a little 3/4 of an inch punch. I'm going to just look. Let's see. Where is the middle about? We could measure it. See how many blocks this is. 6. So I'm just using my nail. And I'm just going to, not deep, not really deep, just like so. Just a little notch, just to show that it's a pocket. And then see the height of this. Till about there. So we just have to go below that line. And for that, I think some washi tape will be perfect. Or even some book page. Now we can grab some scrap pieces, which is what I will do. Some glue. Let's see, where did I make the mark there? Oh, you see my glue is almost finished. I normally use it till the end. Just wanting to put some glue there, right around. You don't have to completely cover the whole thing. I've got some glue on the finger now. Don't want to include that white part, so I'm going to add it from there. There might be a piece at the bottom that is not glued down. Not a train smash. just lift it up there, and then we can simply trim this. And yes, we will still ink the edge so that there's no white core showing. And yes, there is some glue on my workbench right now from where I dropped the actual glue. You can use an eraser first. Look, there again, when flying, so that that doesn't spoil your project now. You have to be a bit quick. Keep rubbing till it's clean. Or if you have, I don't know where, oh, there it is on top. I just moved my baby wipes and they're not in the space where I normally find them. Let me just get this sorted and then grab that baby wipes so I can get this mess cleaned up. Baby wipes are really a very useful thing to have. Well, wet wipes doesn't have to be a baby wipe, but wet wipes, it truly helps just to clean everything. I normally just keep it here close by. Now, if you had that, you could have just simply wiped the glue while it is still wet, and it should be fine. And there's our paper at the back of this. It's dry. It's really simple to use the baby wipes. So this one will go there. You could add a bit of clear gesso to this if you want to. I'm not worried too much about the sheen of this, so I'm just going to grab some liquid glue and just glue down on 3 sides. Not too much glue. If you have a very fine tip glue, it is useful, especially if you don't want too much glue going all over. Again, just use that baby wipe, get rid of all that excess glue running out, and it should be fine. If you want to continue and your glue is not the type that actually sticks down really quickly, you can use some clips and just clip it down and leave it for a second or so, so that it is dry in a few moments and you can use your hands. So I'm going to go ahead and just ink this before I continue, because you will see there's a lot of white showing on the side, and that is the cardstock. The bottom too, as I don't like that white showing. If you don't mind, you can skip this step altogether. I should have inked that part. Now, if that happens, let me show you a little trick that is quite useful. If you forgot, like I did, just put a bit of cellophane in there, and then you can just go over that and just ink that. I like the look of this, so I'm going to just make this whole thing a little bit older by adding that brownish color on top. The same with this. Enhance that vintage look. And I just dropped my ink thingy. It's one of those drop everything you can days. Drop the glue, drop the scissors, drop the packaging material, and dropping the ink blending tool. So let's continue with this. Close the ink. I just close my ink so that it actually is dry. Or not dry, I mean so that it actually do not dry out. Next step, we're going to put a few things here. Probably postage stamps. You know, I love those. I love my faux postage stamps. They are very useful. And a little bit of washi tape, maybe a few, I don't know, let's see, what tags do we have here? Labels, stickers, whatever. See, from previous projects. I'll just put that one side. So let's see. Maybe a different washi tape altogether, because the ones that I have are quite wide. So let's see if I can grab something that is not as wide. I like this brownish look, but it's too shabby chic. This one might work. Is it wide enough? Nope. See, now this is where my projects always get quite stretched out, as I can never make up my mind what to use. I think I like this one, though it's not open. So give me a moment and I will quickly just open it up, please. And then we will continue with this one. I showed you the stickers that I took from the packaging of this tape, and this one simply doesn't want to get off. I tried, but I will tear it. You'll probably like I did one more. So what I'm going to try with this one is just cut it, basically, so I can still use that sticker, and it's a nice enough sticker So it's worth trying. And yes, it sticks to my finger. That's why I have to pull it away and grab it again. And in this case, it's not the best fuzzy cutting as it really sticks. So that part came off. Maybe you can see it there. It's like this cellophane thingy that came off, but this is quite sticky and it will be a beautiful sticker. So let me grab those others. You can see this one is torn beyond belief, but I'm going to add this one just very lightly there. And that was all salvaged from packaging. So it can be used over in some project whenever I feel like adding a sticker of that same, which is mostly vintage. So let's add some of this washi tape. I'll see if this washi tape is actually sticking down. If not, just add a bit of glue to it and we will see. Now this is like a double-sided thing going on. How in this world? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flying glue of earlier and I just want to see the length of this so that I'll start there and end there. I'm going to do it differently now. Just trim it. I just want to add some glue just to make sure that it actually stays glued down. I'll do the end now. And there, that is covered. It will probably lift up from this side. See how easily it lifts? Just for the nail. So I'm just going to put glue on this end as well. And that is the reason why I put glue stick on my washi stickers, or washi tape, even on the washi stickers. You can leave it as is. Really, truly, you can leave it as is. There's that little bit of extra tape there. And yes, I would just ink that as well. That can be this tag, or you can go ahead and add a few things. You can add a ticket or so. Let's ink this, but I would want a darker brown just to enhance that color. This is ground espresso, distress in ground espresso, and it rounds it off quite nicely. It was some of the coffee paper, one of my earlier videos that I showed you how to do this. So we can add that in there. That can stay. This should be, let me just get my bone folder and just make sure this is open. There we go. And you can add whatever, even if you had finished the tag, that can be a little tag pocket then with a smaller tag in there. So let's just fold this pocket and then maybe just put one or two little postage stamps there just to round it off and distract the fact that there are so many things printed backwards on it. I just want the more vintage look, so I'll just color it more brown. Right. Little ticket, all made with coffee dyed paper. Very simple decoration. I'll show you how to make the faux postage stamps as well. And for that, I'll show you after I put the glue down. I use some cardstock paper from previous projects. These were printables from one of my favorite Etsy shops. And it's called Digi and SVG Designs for You. And there's our little pocket. Beautiful. Can stay as that. You can add another pocket here if you so wish. For now, I'll just stop there. Now let's move on to the next one, which is this little packaging material. We're going to stick with a vintage feel. A little bit more of a shabby chic inspiration due to the roses. Let's see what we come up with. Now we already have that. I would want to use a bit of ink just to smear here and there. You can see I'm not, oops, that one is now too hard. Let's see if we can use a baby wipe. Remember, it reacts with water. Oh, I just made it worse, but we will just wipe that. And it's fine. We'll just embrace the imperfections. Maybe a tiny finger dauber, some vintage photo. And yes, it's tricky because remember, this is a bit more glossy. So there we have that one. Just close the glue for a bit. Now, how do we actually get this not to show. I'll show you in a little bit. So I'm going to use some of this paper. I'll flip it over. I'll just tear that part off, and that part, and this part. Now before we do that, we're going to turn it into a pocket. These parts I don't throw away. These will go into the scrap bin so that we have it for a next project. We need to get this a bit more sturdy. So what cardstock do I have here next to me? I've got some yellow. So I guess yellow is what I will be using to glue this down on, just to get it a little bit more sturdy, because I want to use this as a pocket. So just add it. The paper is quite crisp. Just add some glue. And remember, this glue stick is flying out whenever I try to turn it over. It's at that point where it is now really almost done. Wait, not there, not there, not there. See what I almost did? I'm not just dropping things. I am now, let's do that. And then we can cut it out afterwards, just so that it sticks down well before the glue is actually drying. Craft. Now I'm sad that I'm going to lose a bit of this, but it's okay. We have to do what we have to do, right? I'm going to incorporate it like this. Now this one I will probably have to fix a bit. Let's see how. Let's see how. I want the yellow on here. See, this one lifted a bit. Let's do that quality check so that it can glue down. Oh, you see what? The paper is so flimsy that it actually tears. It's that vintagey. So that's just something we have to look out for when you get your paper, your books that you want to use. Now for this, I'm going to grab my trusty book pages. This one is a bit far away, so I'll just tear off the pieces there. I was going to cut it, but let's not do that. Ink blending tool, and I'm changing this yellow to a brown so that I don't have to worry about it. Now here, I will have to, let's see, before we do the inking, just cut this a tiny little bit. I don't know how far. Anyway, don't want it to go up that far, but it won't actually matter if it does, so it will take a bit away from there. Okay, let's just leave it as it is. So I'm going to just ink this up. And yes, we want to camouflage the yellow. That's why I'm doing it so dark. And then also the bottom. And then very lightly, just to enhance the color of the actual paper and not have it so very, very white. There we go. And take that one away for the next time we use it. So for this, we now need to just cover that part, and that can be easily done with a little sticker. So we use this as a pocket, handmade. We will do something there, don't worry. Maybe a bit of lace or something. I like that look, but first we need to get that sorted. So that can easily be rectified. Seeing that this sticker is already damaged, it's one of those that we salvaged. And it was torn beyond repair. And now we hide the fact that that is not perfect. Who would now know that it's a packaging material? Yes, if you see the hole still, you would say it's that. And yes, sadly it's bent, but it's not the end of the world. So see, if we do that now, we add that there, it should be okay. And then we can still use our tag and make it useful. Now you're going to ask me, what do we do there? As well, very, very easy. We will take a bit of cardstock, any scrap piece of cardstock that you might have, you can add it there just to help that to be a little bit more sturdy. So let's see what I have here around me. Any scrap piece of cardstock? No, that I need some. I don't have any. Let's go to that yellow again. Let's go to that yellow again. But I'm going to just add something there, and I will bolt my collage around that. So let's grab a gold. These are stickers. I need something pink. This will shine through yellow. I like that one. Let's go with that. To go with a horse or that one. Let's decide. Let's decide. Either one of those two should be good. I just don't think I like the yellow though. I'm going to just use a small card, not scrap, but it doesn't matter. It's almost like small business cards or index cards, no lines to it. That will work. but I don't want to put that on there yet. I want to put this on there. So let's see. All right. Now, same thing here. This is like a washi sticker. I normally just bend it down with my nail, bend and push up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's try this again and see if it actually helps. Maybe the next corner will help. And I lifted it and then glued it down again. Can you imagine? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it really doesn't work. Now, if I had a pin here, I could have used it. There we go. We got it. A bit of glue, just so that this sticks down well, right around the edges. Try not to crinkle it up. Don't want wrinkles in this. And then just some glue in the middle. Now, don't worry if it's not lined up perfectly well. And you can use your little card, bone folder, just burnish it well. That way you can also rid it of any wrinkles. I also like that one. We can maybe use it, incorporate it somehow. I'm just going to turn this, just cut it a tiny little bit wider than, I hope it's now far enough. It looks like it. We'll trim the bottom and the top. Now, it's always a risk if you are trimming on your project directly. Your blade can slip. So I just normally just hold my project with my finger. I just want to trim a tiny bit off there. Maybe like so. And I think that's perfect. Let's see. The edge now needs to be inked before we can add this. Handmade, we're going to put that there. Part of the collage. I just want to see exactly where this pocket is going to end. So it's like that. We can add that there. I would want to move this a tiny bit. And yes, that handmade is still there. Don't worry about it at this point. I just want to make an indent so that I can see more or less. Time to add the pocket. We're going to just put glue again on two sides so that we can glue this down. And yes, I will have to grab the baby wipe so that I can wipe down the excess glue. It will definitely seep through. And I pushed it up too far. Let's just make sure it is actually on the tag. There we go. And it should glue down perfectly well. Now the next step, that needs to be covered up, and that can easily be done by adding a piece of washi tape, or you can add some ribbon, you can add anything really. It can be a piece of lace. Let's see if I have thin enough washi tape. I like this one. Sorry for rummaging in your ears. Just hoping this one will open up easier than that first one. I still have to look at those new washi tapes. Don't need a long piece. I'm just going to put a bit of glue there directly. That way I can add the washi tape. Just a piece there. It's literally just to hide that handmade part. Snap it off and you are done. You can add some on here. I just want to trim the part off the side. There we go. Don't worry, that hole will be covered shortly. You could add more washi tape there, another sticker. If I show you with the stickers, if you had to put a sticker there, you would not see it. We will, however, cover the back. So before we ink the edge completely, we will first just cover the back as well. Otherwise, that hole will be visible the whole time. So that could have worked. Any one of those little stickers would have been perfect to cover. However, we're going to add this girl there. And maybe a little something to round her off here. Oh, I almost forgot to ink her up. We don't want it too white. We want it brown, but not too dark brown. So just very lightly around the edge. And now it looks as if it was supposed to be that way. Some glue from this flyaway glue stick. once it's done, I can use the rest of it for paper to make a masterboard. And there's a bit of glue now sticking out there. Let's move that in there. You can move it down a little bitty, just a little bitty. Be careful, if you put this down in your project, there's glue and it will stick. So this one we will cover in a second. So before I forget, let's move along and get this covered up. I'm going to use some French. No, I cannot speak French. I have no idea what this paper is saying. What I normally do is, let's do it with a craft knife. I just cut the strips off when I want only the text. This I don't throw away. Look at this, it's now tearing instead of cutting. I don't know why. Maybe it's time for my blade to be just broken down. And with that, you just snap it off and it is ready to use yet again. Previously, you always had to put in a new blade. These days, it's quite easy. These are easily used for stamping sentiments. And no, it's never thrown away, or I incorporate it into masterboards. So this one, just add some glue all around. Oh, look at that. I see something standing up on the front. Just some glue, and out to the middle, and this glue stick is almost done. And look at that. This is just about the right size for our tag. Isn't that just gorgeous? That it is perfectly fine. Imagine if that was smaller. It would have been a challenge to cover that up. Some ink. While we go around, we can ink the whole thing. And the last side, this side. And we can do the bottom here and the side of here. We need to find some lace. There's a bit that is sticking over. Just trim, and there we have it. Now just let's finalize this and maybe also finish the little tag. Then you truly cannot say you don't know what to do with your packaging material. Some lace, let's look for lace on here. Just a piece of lace, tiny bit. I always get the lace wrong. I think this is the back side of it. So I'm going to just add a bit of glue, liquid glue. You can use fabric tack, whatever you have. Some glues are just easier to glue lace down with than others. Find something that works for you. I'm not here to advertise products, so I use what I use. You can use whatever you want to. Yes, I'm going to glue it down here, right on top of this, and we'll trim the little bit that is hanging over off there. Just a tiny little sliver that is too wide. Just have to push that up. This bit is hanging over at the bottom. There we go. That's all I want to add there. And what will I do? Yes, I will put a bit of glue just here and there. Not too much, just basically the nozzle, touching the nozzle onto the lace. That's maybe a bit too much. This side is better. I don't want too much. And yes, you could have used collage matte medium. That would have been perfect. This will dry. It's not an issue. The pocket is still available, even though I did glue something down there. Just to prove that to you, I will put that in there, and you can still add something in that pocket. So I think that little lace has done the trick. I like the look of that. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like truly, truly, truly gorgeous. Now, what else do we want? Maybe a postage stamp there. And then we will quickly do the little tag. Now we need something a little bit toned down, not blue. We need pink. I have a bit of pink. One of my previous videos, I show you how to make faux vintage stamps. If you don't get the exact right color, you can change one. Oh, that one might have been a good one, and now I flipped it over. Maybe that lighter pink. There are so many different. Green will be too much. Don't know why the circle is in there, but nonetheless, I love using circles. There's a very light pink, but I just need to make it a little bit more vintagey looking. And how do we do that? Adding a bit of ink. I think that should do, unless I see something else in the last minutes of flipping through here. Or maybe that one. Let's see which. Even if I color all four, it's not going to be a disaster. Let's see which one fits better. I like these two. Let's take that out. All right. A bit of ink. Not too much, just a smear, just that discoloration. You still want to see the pink on both these stamps. I know you don't have to add stamps, faux postage stamps. You could have added a pink rose if you wanted to. You could have maybe added a total different vintage element. You don't have to add what I have added just for the sake of doing the same thing. Even if you try, you will not. Even if I try to make exactly the same thing right now with the same resources, they will not look exactly the same. You cannot get that right. So let's see where we want to add that. Maybe that one there. And this one, or maybe completely on the... Let's put a stamp there, like an inky stamp, not faux postage stamp. I always get these things upside down. Always. So let's add that there. Maybe pull it a bit up, like so. And there goes the the ink, the glue stick yet again. Oh my goodness, what's happening today? And there we have that. Now to finalize, we will do the stamping in a bit. So let's get this one covered. Also in a bit of, you know what, let's see. I hope these things will work. That is not to my liking. Let's see this. Would this be fine? Not so much. It's okay. We will try and put it as straight as possible. And then we will just trim the sides. So let's get this open. See, there's that thing again. I think it's supposed to be double-sided. Like, why would this sit on there? This is awful. I don't like that. Will this cover completely or will this come through? Yes, it will show through. I want to just move this up a little bit. So I'm going to pull this down if I can. Whee, and it rolls up completely. I want to... Right, so before we do that, let's ink this a little bit. We can do the middle part as well. All right, let's see now. Try to go as center as you possibly could, because once you put it down, it's down. I'll trim this and later sort out this. Look at this. Maybe it's just the top part. Okay, I guess it's just the top part. I was getting so worried. See, it's just that little bit that they glue down. So that's awesome. I was just like, disappointment much. There we go. So this is probably just to get it from sticking to, you know, to each other, the different layers. Okay, that explains it. Now to just trim this, or you can fold it over if you want to. There's a bit that is too wide, so I'll just trim it. And there, and there. This can easily have been added to a masterboard. I'm going to just grab a card and just burnish it, just so that it can stay put. And then a bit of darker ink, just to round this off. And yes, you could punch a hole in it, put a string through it, lace through it, ribbon through it, twine, whatever you want to put through it. I like that, and maybe add a little, just to pull it together. What do we have? We don't have bigger tickets here. This one has got a black rind, but just let's do that. It's not a very thick cardstock. Could easily be glued down to a project. We can pop that one in there as well. There you have that. Now a bit of stamping. Let's see, a bit of stamping. Let me just close the glue sticks and the glue bottles. Stamps. What stamps will we use? Of course, some holds. So let's see. I think I will grab this one. What ink block do I have here? This one. It's got a bit of ink on it. We'll just ink it up. Bring the ink pad to the ink block with a stamp on. And let's just take these ones out. Maybe grab something for underneath. You don't have to. The ink actually cleans very well with water. But just to show you how I use my postcard, that can work. I had accidentally inked the edge as well, but it's not to worry. What else do we have? We have this little one. We can maybe do the part there, just have something. All right. You don't have to have the same stamps everywhere. I love them all to set. This is the one correspondence. We can have so many different images. Not finished with that one. We can maybe use the same stamp right there. There's so many in this set that you possibly could use to just enhance your project. They are absolutely magnificent. You can even go for a black ink if you so wish. I just prefer the vintage photo. You know that I love vintage photo. And stamp it again. And I think that's where I will stop. This one is still a little bit wet. You can see the wet ink, so be careful when you add things. So what have we done today? We had to use some packaging material. Let me just close the ink because I might just forget to do that. We turned one into a tag. We didn't do anything to the back, but we had added some ink and some washi tape to the front, which was an easy one. Very, very quick. Added a little ticket that was previously made to the pocket. Added some faux postage stamps that I showed you previously. Rounded this off with some lace. Camouflage that handmade with some washi tape. Close that up, which is a sticker. Oh, and that's the part that's standing up, is the end of that sticker. So let me just grab the glue and just help that one to stick down properly. And there we have it. It will now not lift up again. Added this little washi sticker to cardstock to actually camouflage the hole that was in the packaging. Covered the back with some vintage paper, book paper. You can use scrapbook paper, you can use normal copy paper if you so wish to cover it up. If you don't want to, you can leave it as it is. And then the pocket was made with some old book page onto some cardstock, which is yellow. That's why I tinted the edge with ink. Added the lace, some stamping, and that little salvaged sticker from the washi tapes that we used there was on the edge to close it up to keep it from being damaged. So the packaging material was taped down with that sticker. Top and bottom. The bottom is an advertisement saying what's the product. The top is showing you what the washi tape is about. So that is a great addition to use wherever. And then some stamping on top. So that's now dry. I can check with my finger. Not that that helps because my fingers are already brown from the ink. And we can now add our little things. You don't have to close it all up, but it just rounds it off. This one we made a pocket with the packaging material on top. Added some faux postage stamps, a little ticket. Door prize at the door. That's there, made with coffee stained paper. Some stamping on the card, just some stamping. After covering that, the back of that packaging material stayed as is. Some ink on the desktop that actually smudged that. It doesn't bother me. If it does bother you, you can cover it. Go ahead and cover it. So there we have that for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Go try and look around for packaging material so that you can make something useful with that. Easy to incorporate. Things that would have otherwise ended up in the dustbin and make it useful for our projects. You can now add this to any one of your projects, junk journal. You can send it as happy mail, include it in a card for somebody that would like stuff like this. They don't know how, get them to understand what we do in journaling. Journaling is one of those mindful activities. I love doing this part. I don't necessarily always have the time to do the writing part of it, but it does help some people that are suffering from anxiety, depression, and going through just general tough times. It reminds me of those good old days of Dear Diary, and you wrote down all the important things, all the things that bothered you, all the things that you were happy about, same type of thing. So it is an absolute mindful activity. Why do I include that in today's session? I had somebody very dear to my heart that had asked me one day, but what do you actually do with the journals? And once I have explained it to her, she was quite happy, and she is now also hooked on journaling. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up. And as always, I'll appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel too. If you haven't done so yet, please hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of new content. See you back soon. Goodbye.